Hi.
I'm Summer, and I'll be your social worker.
Hi, Summer.
Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that everything that we say today will be confidential and that you won't have to worry about anything, leaving this room. Have you ever heard of confidentiality or what that entails?
Well, tell me how you describe it.
Okay. Well, confidentiality is basically, like I said before, anything that you say or I discuss here will not leave the room, and it's very private.
Okay.
So you can feel safe telling me anything that you feel. The only thing that I would have to report is if you said that you were going to harm others or harm yourself. But everything else will be kept safe.
Oh, okay.
So if you, feel as if you're going to danger somebody else or danger yourself, I would have to report that.
Oh, yeah. I have no issues with that.
Okay, great to hear. So everything is pretty clear for you then?
Yes, I understand that. Thank you.
Okay, great. So what brings you in today?
Well, it started a few weeks ago.
Okay.
My husband went out just for a bicycle ride and had a traumatic accident.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear this. Do you mind maybe elaborating a little bit on the accident at all?
Well, it was just really a freaky thing, but he went out to just take it. It was like a day like this, early spring. Just felt like getting out for a little bit. Mm-hmm. We actually had plans. We were leaving in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So when he left, he had no plans of a long bike ride. But so went, and a few minutes later, I heard the door unlock.
Okay.
And I called out his name, Bob, and didn't hear anything. And I went to the door, and this is why I say traumatic, because he had a red cloth all over. I thought that he had fallen into a bucket of red paint, but it was blood. And I was petrified. Mm-hmm. And I asked him what happened, and he really couldn't even talk. He just said, I need to go to the hospital.
Right.
And wow, so it's really, really turned my life upside down because we never had children. We really don't have family nearby, so it's just the two of us.
Okay.
And, we're at that point in life where we've made lots of plans for the future. We're getting close to retirement age. Mm-hmm. And instead, I'm facing complete chaos and trauma, and I am stressed beyond imagination. He's in the hospital, in a coma.
I can understand, how hard that would be, how, that would take a toll on yourself as well as, obviously your husband and what he's going through. Just going for a bike ride and then, you never know. So what I'm hearing you say is that it sounds like prior to the accident that you had a really good relationship. Is that
definitely?
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right now, with the accident happening and him in the hospital, it has really caused you some, burdens with your stress. And what else do you want?
Yeah, I just need to have somebody like you to talk to because, like I said, we don't have family, we don't have kids. Mm-hmm. I'm, emotionally distraught. I'm worried what's going to happen to him. Then these bills keep coming in. I never had a clue how expensive hospitalization is. And he's always done all the, our budgeting, our bills. Mm-hmm. Whew. So if you could maybe help me with how to, where do I go to find out how to do those things? I don't know.
Yeah. We can definitely sit down maybe in our next session more about, budgeting, putting you on a weekly budget, and seeing if you are eligible for Medicare and all those different types of things, you know, resources that we can look into for you and also your husband, because I can definitely understand how that could be, you know, very, very financially burdened with, you know, your husband in the hospital and all those hospital bills racking up. So we can definitely look into that.
Yes.
How have you been handling your stress? You know, because it sounds like right now you're just under a lot of.
Well, I haven't had a good night's sleep in really since this happened. You know, it's been about a month, and you know, I'm hoping he'll get out of intensive care, but you know, I just really can't sleep very well at night. Wake up thinking about him, you know, what's going to happen to us, and you know, you brought up Medicaid, Medicare, that kind of thing. We're getting close to retirement age, and you know, this isn't how I pictured it to be.
Right. I mean, just coming to me is just a great step, and it seems like you're handling it to the best that you know. And so.
Now, I'm not real sure how this works. Like, when this appointment was set up, do I have follow-up appointments with you, or just this is it, or?
Yeah, we can definitely do some follow-up appointments. I would say maybe right now we could do, you know, 6 to 8 week sessions, once or twice a week. If that would that sound good to you?
Once or twice a week, and then how long is each session?
Probably varying around an hour to an hour and a half each session. So depending if we go once or twice a week. So I know you said that you didn't have any children and not a whole lot of family. How about your friends and like the support? Do you have any good friends that you can turn to during this difficult time?
Yeah, I do. I have a few good friends, but you know, I don't really like to bother them with my problems, or you know, what can they do? You know, really, that's why it's good to have somebody like you that I can just talk to, that you know, can maybe hopefully give me some advice. I mean, maybe you've been through something like this with somebody before. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's understandable that you know, wouldn't want to be such a burden on your friends. But we also, I mean, have support groups for families that have had other family members or themselves be in a, you know, traumatic injury. Yes.
Okay, now how does that work?
So we could, you know, talk about it after our session a little bit more, getting you set up and seeing, you know, different times and days that you could go to one of these support groups. And it's basically just, you know, like I said, either they themselves have had an injury, or their family or friends have had a traumatic, you know,
okay,
injury.
well, that'd be good.
So,
Maybe they could have some advice for me, like with my bills and everything that I'm dealing with.
So yeah, you could definitely probably, you know, relate to them and you know, not feel so alone in this, that you would have other people that had the same things happen.
That sounds really helpful. I'd like that. So you can set that up for me?
We can definitely set that up.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, so the financial, you said that you can get me some help with the finances.
We can do that, and we
Okay.
can, and meetings to come, we can, you know, set you on a budget and stuff and all that.
Okay.
Is there any other areas that you might be struggling with? Like, how is your eating habits right now during this time?
Well, I'm, you know, really rushed because I go from work to the hospital and then, you know, back home, so I don't really have that much time to eat. I think I don't really think I have any issues with that.
Okay, so you haven't really seen like an increase or decrease in your weight or anything like that?
Should I? I mean, do you think I should?
Well, sometimes, you know, during times of, you know, stress and traumatic injuries, you know, whether it be yourself or others, that they may lack, you know, like you're saying, sleep, and also, you know, eating healthy or eating, you know, enough food because they're so worried about.
Okay. Well, yeah. I really haven't thought about that much. I just, like I said, I rush to get to the hospital after work and, you know, grab something to eat.
So with your stress and your husband having his accident, I was just wondering, just meeting me, like I said, is a great start. But I was just wondering if you were, be all interested in having a journal, to keep your thoughts and reflection of the day.
I've heard of people doing that. I've read about it in magazines, but tell me really how that works.
Well, so we'll meet today, and you can talk to me. But when we don't meet, the days we don't meet, you can keep, all the things you're feeling and the emotions and all that stuff in a journal. And then the next time we meet back, you can talk about those things with me if you feel comfortable. Would that be something you're interested in?
Well, it's kind of intriguing. What is the point of that?
You said earlier that you didn't really have a support, system. Like you didn't have your kids or
Right.
friends that you really felt comfortable talking to, and not a lot of extended family. So I think a journal would be, great.
Okay,
So-
I could try that.
When you're feeling sad or stressed, to write those. And then next time we meet, we discuss those.
So I just bring
feelings.
it back to you, and we just go over those things.
Yeah.
Okay, I could try that.
I think that would be a great way to help with the stress management, and also, any of the sadness and
Well, now you've got me kind of thinking about, like my eating habits. Like maybe I don't eat enough. I mean, I kind of notice I have a lot of like stomach aches and stuff. So a lot of times I really just don't feel like eating.
do you think these stomach aches are caused from, the accident, and or was this?
Now I'm kind of thinking about that because it does seem like it kind of started after, all this chaos of, going to the hospital and life just kind of crumbling in front of me because, like I said, we had plans. We're close to retirement age. We had plans of traveling, and I kind of have a bit of guilt with that too because here I'm worried about our future,
Right.
and my poor husband's in the hospital in a coma. We don't even know what's going to happen. So, yeah, I think anybody would be stressed. I got financial issues. I've got, marital issues. So I really do appreciate that I can come and talk to you.
When you say marital issues, did you have any issues prior to the accident, or?
Well, I've never really shared this with too many people, but I really would have liked to have had children. And, he really didn't want any children. And, it would be nice to have somebody that I could go through with this. And somebody that would, bring some joy to my life. Right now it's just, there's really nothing fun about life right now. I'm just
Right.
trying to go to work. I'm trying to get all these bills squared away. And, then I go and I just look at him in this coma. And like I said, part of me feels guilty. Part of me
Right.
feels lonely.
And that's totally understandable. Going back to, the children thing, and I mean, it seems like you and your husband have a very good relationship,
Yeah, we do.
and, planning these
We did.
vacations, and,
We did.
yes. So going back to the children thing, would you think that you had any, resentment because he didn't want to have children, that you maybe had resentment or still have resentment because of that towards him?
Well, just recently I have been kind of feeling that way because, like I said, it's just would be nice to have that support of children. I was raised in a big family, and that's just how I kind of thought life would be, and instead it's just pretty much been the two of us. And like I said, we've gotten along great. Have a lot of friends that we did things with as couples, but what happens if he's, I don't know. I don't know what our future holds, and so that does make me a bit anxious.
Right. So with you saying that you had a big family, could you mind telling me a little bit about his family life? I mean, did he have a pretty small family, or was it pretty big as well?
Well, he had 2 brothers and a sister, and a very controlling father. And I think that maybe he just didn't want kids because maybe he thought he'd end up like his dad or something. I don't know. But he's really a really nice guy, and easygoing and everything. And he just, it wasn't like we really made a decision early on not to have kids. It's just as the years went by, we didn't. We were having a good time.
Okay.
And so, it just got to a point where all of a sudden you're kind of beyond the age of having kids.
Right.
So that's where we are now. So, well, I can see our time's about up, so.
Okay. Okay, well, it was very nice meeting you.
Yeah, it's very nice meeting you. I appreciate this. It really makes me feel better.
Okay, I'm so glad to hear this, and I look forward to seeing you in further sessions to come.
Okay, so you'll get up the financial counseling for me and the support group.
Yes.
Okay.
We will
Thank
get those
you.
set up.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.